guys, we're getting ready to do Module 5, Lesson 4. And in this lesson, we're going to learn how to decompose a fraction into smaller fractions, which basically means we're making equivalent fractions, okay? So we're decomposing and we're making equivalent fractions. Alright, so in this one, the first two have been done for us. Let's just talk about what we see going on here. First of all, at first we have 1/2. Then these dotted lines show where we cut 1/2 in half. And when we cut 1/2 in half, now we have fourths. So 1/2 is equivalent to 1/4 plus 1/4, or 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. Okay, let's do the same thing over here, only we're just going to do it a different way. Now instead of cutting it in half, we're going to cut it into fourths. So I've got 1/2 again. Same fraction as over here that we started with. And this time we cut it into 1, 2, 3 pieces. Okay, so 1/2 is equivalent to 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. 1/2 is equivalent to 4/8. Alright, let's go down here. This one has the 1/3 there and it has the lines there, but it doesn't have the rest. So we've got 1/3 here, and let me show you with my highlighter your thirds. I like to kind of highlight them like this. There's the thirds over there, so you can kind of really see those thirds, okay? Sometimes I think it gets hard to see it. So there's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Then down here, we cut those thirds in half with these dotted lines, okay? So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. So my denominator is going to be a 6, okay? And this is one of those 6, and this is one of those 6. So together I've got 1 6 and 1 6. So 1/3 is equal to 1 6 plus 1 6, or it's equal to 2 6. Okay, so over here I've got 1/3 equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 total parts. So this would be 1/12, and then the next one would be 1/12, and then 1/12, and then 1/12. I can't write as small as that is. So, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 1/12, and here there's 1, 2, 3, 4 1/12. So 1/3 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 12ths. We're finding equivalent fractions. Okay, here's another one. Okay, now this one doesn't give us anything, so we have to decide what this is. So if this is my whole, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So this is 1/4, and this would be 1/4. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna, on this side, we're just gonna start by splitting in half. Each one of these we're gonna split in half. So now we're not gonna have fourths anymore. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically we just doubled the fourths, okay? So this would be 1/8, and this would be 1/8, okay? So 1/4 is equivalent to, or the same, this shaded part is the same as 1/8 plus 1/8, or it's equivalent to 2/8. They're the same piece or the same part. They're the same amount shaded. Okay, over here it wants us to do it again, but in a different way. So I'm going to break up this fourth into thirds. Okay, so we're going to break up that fourth into thirds. In order to figure out what the whole is and what our denominator is, we have to break them all up into thirds. So when I take 1/4 and I break it into thirds, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I've got 12ths here. Here's 1/12, here's another 12th, and here's another 12th. I've got 3 1/12ths. So 1/4 is equal to 3 12ths. Now, if I think about it, I took that 4 and I broke it into thirds, and 4 times 3 is 12. And I took that 1 and I broke it into thirds, and 1 times 3 is 3. So basically, if I'm breaking it into thirds, it's like multiplying by 3. The same thing holds over here. I took that 4 and I broke it into 2, so 4 times 2 is 8. I took that 1 and I broke it into 2 right there, and 1 times 2 is 2. We'll get to where you'll know what I'm talking about when I do that. Right now it's just slowly introducing. Okay, slowly. Okay, so what is this fraction down here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total parts. So my denominator up here is going to be fifths. And I've obviously got 1/5 on the top. Okay, so we're trying to find stuff equivalent to 1/5. For the first one, I'm going to cut that fifth in half. So tell me, what is 5 times 2? 5 times 2 is 10. We cut it in half, so I should have 10 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my new fraction that it's going to be equivalent to is going to be tenths. Okay, so this is 1/10, and 1/10, I've got 2 tenths. So 1/5 is equivalent to 2 tenths. Okay, and I knew it was going to be tenths because I knew 5 times 2 was 10. Okay, so here, let's cut this one into thirds. Okay, well, 5 times what is going to be? 5 times 3 right here is going to be 15, because if I cut them all into thirds, I'm taking that 5 and I'm cutting it into thirds all the way down, so it's like I'm doing 5 times 3, and 5 times 3 is 15, so there's 15 total parts there, so that's going to be 1/15 plus a second 1/15 plus a second 1/15, which means I've got 3/15. Now we have more than one, so more than a unit fraction. Okay, and that's good, that's okay. We can do it with more than one. Okay, so this is 2/3, because there's 2 out of 3. So I have 3 total parts, and I have 2 shaded. Okay, and this one's the same, 2/3. We're just doing this 2 different ways. So if I take my thirds and I split them in half, it's like taking that 3 and doubling it, right? Because I've got double in each one now. So 1/3 is equivalent to, this would be 1/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be 1/6 and 1/6 and 1/6. It's not going to be 1/3, it's 2/3, sorry, because we have 2. So 2/3 is equal to 4/6. Let me show it to you like this. 2/3, and I knew I split them in half, and I knew I made 6. So 2/3, we split them in half, so we did times 2. We do times 2 here is 4/6. 2/3 is equivalent to 4/6. That's what we just did up there, but I just did it without writing out all the unit fractions. All right, let's try again. All right, so we're starting with 2/3 here, and we're going to cut this into thirds. So if I cut thirds into thirds, how many total pieces am I going to have now? Well, that's going to be 3 times 3. So look, let's go over here, 2/3. And I know I'm going to do times 3 because I just cut each one into thirds. So times 3 would be 9. Whatever I do on the bottom, I have to do on the top. So 2 times 3 is 6. So it should be 6/9. Oops, there you go. Should be 6/9 that it's equivalent to. Let's see if that works out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1/9, 2/9, 3/9, 4/9, 5/9, 6/9. 2/3 is equal to 6/9. Okay, y'all kind of see how I'm doing that. All right, now this one's a little tricky. I've got fifths and I've got 3/5. I'm going to write 3/5 over here because I've got too much stuff I'm trying to squish in these little small spaces. 3/5 will fit fine up here. Alright, so at 3/5. Alright, we're going to take this one, cut it in half, 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 half. Okay, so if I take 3/5, and I know I made each one of those times 2 because I cut them in half, so now there's 2 where there was 1. Now I'm going to have tenths. So let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do. I have tenths. And if I took that 3 and I cut it in half, that means there's double. That means I'm going to have 6/10. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's correct. So 1/10 is 1/10. Six tenths. All right. We can do this one. We're going to cut this one into 3s. Okay, and those are getting really small. It's going to be really hard to write all those. So we're going to do it this way. Instead of writing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different ones, okay? We know we cut it into 3, so we're going to multiply by 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. We know we cut it into 3. Whatever we do on the bottom, we do on the top. So 3 times 3 is 9. There are 9 pieces there. 3/5 is equal to 9/15. All right, guys, if you need any help with this while you're working, please get back on and I will help you. Thanks.